From my very first $100 investment as a broke college student to a portfolio that now generates over $10,000 a year in passive income, I've made every mistake in the book. I've bought the hype stock that crashed the next day. I've chased the dividend yield that got cut. I've held onto a losing position for years because I couldn't admit I was wrong. And I've also stumbled onto some incredible investments that literally changed my life. Today, I'm going to rank the 10 most important investments I've ever made, from the absolute worst, most expensive lesson, all the way up to the single best investment that took me from $100 to a six-figure portfolio. You'll see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And by the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to avoid and what to embrace on your own journey. If you stay until the end of this video, you'll get a brutally honest ranking of 10 investments I've personally made, including the specific tickers, the dollars lost, the lessons learned, and the strategies that finally worked. You'll see the progression from gambling to investing, and you'll walk away with a clear roadmap for your own first $10,000. My name is your name, and today I'm pulling back the curtain on my own portfolio. Let me start with a confession. When I first started investing, I was an idiot. I had $100 from a summer job, and I thought I was the next Warren Buffett. I bought a penny stock because a message board said it would moon. It didn't. I lost 90% of that $100 in 3 weeks. That $90 loss taught me more than any textbook. It taught me that investing without a plan is just gambling. And over the last 15 years, I've made that mistake again and again, but each time, I learned. Today, I want to share those lessons with you. I'm going to rank these investments from worst to best, number 10 being the biggest mistake, number 1 being the most important investment that changed everything. Number 10, penny stocks and hot tips from internet forums. This is where I started, and it was a disaster. Penny stocks are shares of tiny companies that trade for less than $5, often less than $1. They are not listed on major exchanges. They are the Wild West of investing. I bought a stock called XYZ Mining because a Reddit thread said they found a huge lithium deposit. I didn't look at a balance sheet. I didn't read a single SEC filing. I just wanted to get rich fast. The stock went from 0.30 to 0.50. I was up 66% in a week. I felt like a genius. Then it dropped to 0.10. I lost 80% of my money. The lithium deposit was a rumor. The company was basically a shell. This is the worst investment you can make because the odds are stacked against you. Penny stocks are often manipulated, illiquid, and promoted by fraudsters. The SEC warns that investors in penny stocks lose 90% or more of their money on average. I learned that lesson the hard way. My advice: never, ever buy a penny stock unless you have money you're willing to burn in a fireplace. It's not investing, it's speculating, and the house always wins. Number 9. Individual stock picking without research. My $1,000 Tesla mistake. After the penny stock disaster, I thought I was smarter. I bought individual stocks of well-known companies. Surely Apple, Amazon, Tesla, these are safe, right? Well, I bought Tesla in 2020 at $400 per share. Pre-split equivalent about $80 post-split. It went up to $900 in a few months. I was elated. Then it dropped to $300. I panicked and sold. I lost about $1,000 on paper. Actually, I sold at a small loss because I bought high and sold low. The stock later went to over $2,000 pre-split. If I had held, I would have made a fortune. But I didn't. Why? Because I had no thesis. I bought because it was popular. I sold because I was scared. Individual stock picking is hard. Even professional fund managers fail to beat the market over 90% of the time. Unless you have time, expertise, and a long-term horizon, individual stocks are a trap. I still own a few individual stocks today, less than 5% of my portfolio, but they are companies I know deeply and intend to hold for a decade. For a beginner, avoid individual stocks. You will almost certainly underperform. Number 8. High-yield dividend traps, chasing 10% yields. After losing on Tesla, I discovered dividend investing. I saw a stock yielding 12%, a real estate investments trust called AGNC. I thought 12% return just for holding? This is free money. I bought $2,000 worth. The dividend was juicy, $20 per month. But what I didn't understand was that the share price was declining. Over 2 years, the stock dropped from $15 to $9. I collected about $300 in dividends, but my principal dropped by $800. Net loss, $500. A high yield is often a warning sign. It can mean the market expects a dividend cut or the company is taking on too much risk. Many high-yield REITs, mortgage REITs, and business development companies are yield traps. Today, I still own some high-yield REITs, but only a small portion of my portfolio, and only after researching their funds from operations, FFO payout ratios, and dividend history. The lesson: don't chase yield. A 3 to 4% yield from a growing company is often better than a 10% yield from a shrinking one. Number 7. Thematic ETFs, my clean energy bet that went nowhere. In 2021, clean energy was all the rage. I bought the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF, ICLN. It held solar, wind, and hydrogen stocks. I believed in the thesis green energy is the future. The ETF dropped 40% over the next 2 years. It still hasn't recovered. The problem with thematic ETFs is that they often buy stocks that are overhyped and overvalued. By the time the ETF launches, the easy money has already been made. I learned that broad market ETFs are safer than narrow thematic ones. A total market ETF like VTI already includes clean energy stocks, but at a diversified weight. Thematic bets are concentrated bets. They can pay off, but they're more like individual stock picks. I limit thematic ETFs to less than 5% of my portfolio today. Number 6. Cryptocurrency, my emotional roller coaster. I bought Bitcoin in 2021 at $50,000. It went to $60,000. I was up 20%. Then it crashed to $30,000. I held. It went to $70,000. I was up 40%. Then it crashed to $40,000. I finally sold at break even after 2 years of stress. I made zero. The volatility was not worth it for me. I'm not anti-crypto. I think a small allocation, 1-2 miras, can be a speculative hedge. But for most people, crypto is an emotional roller coaster that leads to bad decisions. I learned that I don't have the stomach for 80% drawdowns. If you do, great. But be honest with yourself. My biggest crypto lesson: size matters. If you allocate 1%, the stress is manageable. If you allocate 10%, you'll lose sleep. I now keep crypto at 1% of my portfolio, essentially a lottery ticket. Asterisk number 5. Bonds, the boring safety net I ignored for too long. For years, I ignored bonds. I was 100% stocks because I wanted maximum growth. Then 2022 happened. Both stocks and bonds crashed together, and my portfolio dropped 20%. I learned that bonds are not just for old people. They provide dry powder to rebalance during crashes. And when interest rates rise, bond yields become attractive. In 2026, you can get 4 or 5% from high-yield savings, CDs, or short-term bonds. That's real income with virtually no risk. I now keep 20% of my portfolio in bonds and cash equivalents. It reduces my volatility and helps me sleep at night. The best bond ETF for beginners is BND, Total U.S. Bond Market, or BNDW, Global Bonds. I recommend starting with a small allocation and increasing as you get older. The rule of thumb: your age in bonds. At 30% bonds. At 50% bonds. That's conservative, but it works. Number 4. Target date funds, the set and forget winner. After years of tinkering, I discovered target date funds. A target date fund is a single fund that owns a diversified mix of stocks and bonds, automatically rebalancing and becoming more conservative as you approach retirement. The expense ratio is slightly higher than building your own three-fund portfolio, but for the discipline it provides, it's worth it. I put my Roth IRA into a Vanguard Target Retirement 2050 fund, VFX. I stopped checking it. I stopped tinkering. The fund grew steadily, and I never had to rebalance or panic. Over 5 years, it outperformed my own active attempts. The lesson: sometimes the best investment is the one that prevents you from making mistakes. If you're a tinkerer, a target date fund could be your best investment. The expense ratio is around 0.08% to 0.15%, cheap for the value it provides. Number 3, real estate crowdfunding, my 12% return from Fundrise. In 2022, I invested $1,000 in Fundrise, a real estate crowdfunding platform. Fundrise pools money from thousands of investors to buy and manage properties, apartments, industrial buildings, mixed-use developments. You get quarterly dividends and appreciation. My initial $1,000 grew to $1,320 over 3 years. That's a 9.7% annualized return. Not life-changing, but better than the S&P 500 over the same period. The dividends were about 5% per year. The rest came from appreciation. Real estate crowdfunding is less liquid than stocks. You can't sell instantly. But for a long-term hold, it's a great diversifier. Fundrise has a minimum of $10, and they offer a Fundrise IPO where you can buy shares in the platform itself. I now allocate about 5% of my portfolio to real estate crowdfunding. My advice: start with a small amount, treat it as a 5-year hold, and reinvest the dividends. Number 2, the Roth IRA account that changed my life. The single best investment I ever made was not a stock or a fund. It was opening a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is a tax-advantaged retirement account. You put in after-tax money up to $7,000 in 2026, and it grows completely tax-free. You can withdraw contributions anytime without penalty. And when you retire, you pay zero taxes on withdrawals. I opened my Roth IRA at age 22 with $500 from a summer job. I have contributed every year since. Today, it's worth over $80,000. I have paid exactly $0 in taxes on the growth. If I had used a taxable account, I would have paid thousands in capital gains taxes. The Roth IRA is the most powerful wealth-building tool for young people. If you are under 50 and have earned income, open a Roth IRA today. It doesn't matter if you only put in $100. The tax-free growth over decades is staggering. A $1,000 contribution at age 20 could become over $10,000 tax-free by age 60. That's a tenfold return with no taxes. The Roth IRA is not an investment, it's an account. But it's the container that makes your investments tax-free. That's why it's number 2 on my list. Asterisk number 1, low-cost total market index funds, the only investment you'll ever need. And finally, the number 1 best investment I ever made, the one that took me from $100 to a 6-figure portfolio, is a boring, simple, low-cost total market index fund. Specifically, VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. I started buying VTI in 2015 with $200 per month. I never stopped. I never sold. I turned on dividend reinvestment and ignored the noise. Today, my VTI holdings alone are worth over $120,000, and they generate about $500 in dividends per year. The expense ratio is 0.03%. That's $36 per year on a $120,000 portfolio. VTI owns over 4 zeros in stocks: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, and thousands of small and mid-sized companies. When the market crashes, VTI crashes too. But when it recovers, VTI recovers. Over the long term, the stock market has returned about 10% annually. VTI captures that return at the lowest possible cost. No stock picking, no market timing, no stress. VTI is the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it investment. I recommend it to every beginner, and I still hold it today as the core of my portfolio. But here's the secret that makes VTI number one. It's not about the returns, it's about the behavior. With VTI, you don't have to make decisions. You don't have to worry about which sector is hot. You don't have to rebalance. You just buy and hold. And that behavior, not tinkering, is what makes you wealthy. Studies show that the best performing brokerage accounts are often those of people who forgot they had an account. Because they didn't sell, they didn't panic. They just let compound interest work. VTI makes that easy. The journey from $100 to $10,000 in passive income. Now, let me tie this all together with my real journey. I started with $100. I lost most of it on penny stocks. I learned. I moved to individual stocks, made some, lost some. I tried crypto, broke even. I chased high yields, got burned. Then I discovered VTI, Roth IRAs, and boring index investing. I automated $200 a month into VTI inside my Roth IRA. Over 10 years, that small monthly contribution grew to over $50,000. I added real estate crowdfunding and a small bond allocation. Today, my total portfolio is over $200,000, generating about $8,000 per year in dividends and interest. I'm not a millionaire, but I'm on my way. And the best part? I spend less than 1 hour per year managing it. That's the power of simplicity. Your action plan? How to build your own journey. Here's what you need to do today based on my lessons. First, open a Roth IRA if you don't have one. Use Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Deposit $100. Do it now. Second, inside the Roth IRA, buy VTI or a similar total market index fund. Set up automatic monthly investments of whatever you can afford. $50, $100, $500. Third, avoid the mistakes I made. No penny stocks. No chasing hot tips. No gambling on crypto. No yield traps. Fourth, if you want a small allocation to alternatives, REITs, crowdfunding, individual stocks, keep it under 10% of your portfolio. Fifth, turn on dividend reinvestment, DRIP. Set a calendar reminder to check your portfolio once per quarter, not every day. Sixth, be patient. Wealth is not built in months, it's built in decades. The $100 you invest today could be $1 zeros in 30 years. That's not exciting, but it's true. Seventh, comment below. My first investment is going to be, tell me your first step. I'll reply to the first 100 comments. If this video helped you see the simple path from $100 to real wealth, hit the like button. It helps others avoid the same mistakes I made. Subscribe and turn on notifications. This is the final video in this series, but I'll be back with a new series on advanced retirement strategies and tax optimization. The 10 investments that built my portfolio range from terrible to life-changing. But the common thread is not the investment itself, it's the behavior. Start early, stay simple, ignore the noise, and let compound interest do the heavy lifting. You can go from $100 to $10,000. I did. You can too. I'll see you in the next series.